So I want to show you something. This reel is about a month old. It's about a very specific type of product. So for example, this is about house dresses. This is a brand that is all about house dresses, and it still gets views, comments, and you can look at it now. It's got 1,400 comments, 5.6 million views, and it still gets these views and comments and DMs from people wanting to buy every single week, even a month later. This brand did not boost it. I didn't reshare it, and there have been a lot of people who actually have shared it. 238 people have reposted it, but we haven't touched it since the day that it was posted. Now, this one post has driven more customers for them than combined effort of the previous 30 posts around the exact same time. This is getting 20 to 40,000 people to the site over a month-ish period just from this particular reel. Now, I'm gonna show you exactly why, because once you understand it, you'll never look at your Instagram the same way again. Now, if you're a clothing brand founder who is posting consistently and watching your Instagram stay completely flat, this video is for you. I'm gonna show you 3 shifts that change everything. Stay with me, because shift number 2 is the one that surprises every clothing brand founder I've ever worked with. It's counterintuitive, it goes against everything you've been told, and it's exactly why most clothing brands never break through on Instagram. If you're new here, my name is Aaron. I'm from BitBraining. We work specifically with clothing brand founders on growth and marketing. Instagram is one of the first things we look at with every brand that comes through our doors. And what I see over and over is the same situation. A clothing brand with genuinely great product, real quality, a story worth telling, founders who are posting product shots, drops, announcements, behind the scenes, content consistently showing up, and the account is completely flat. Here's what I've learned with working with thousands of clothing brands. The product is almost never the problem. The Instagram strategy is. Before I get into the 3 shifts, I'm gonna show you something most Instagram advice skips entirely: how the algorithm actually works right now. Because once you see the machine clearly, everything else will make sense in a way that it never has before. Then the 3 shifts. The first one is costing you customers before they ever see a single product you make. The second is about who your content is actually built for, and the answer is going to feel wrong at first. The third is going to give you permission to do less and get significantly more out of it. I'm also going to do a live audit of a real clothing brand account in this video. We're gonna pull it up, look exactly what's working, what's broken, and what I'd change first. Stay with me for that. Now, before I get into the 3 shifts, I need to show you how Instagram actually works right now, because if you don't understand the machine, none of this is gonna make sense. So Instagram's CEO, Adam Mosseri, hopefully I said that correctly, went on several podcasts recently, okay? And there's a lot of people talking about the podcast that he went on and recently explained in detail how the algorithm distributes content. Some of what he said directly contradicts the advice that clothing brands have been following for years, and honestly, 2 or 3 years ago, I was giving this exact same advice, so thank goodness you're here now. This isn't a growth hack. This is Instagram's own head of explaining how their system works, and most clothing brands are doing the exact opposite of what it rewards. So here's what actually happens when you post. Post feeds into small test groups split between followers and strangers. 2 outcomes. When you post anything, a reel, carousel, a static post, Instagram does not show it to your followers first. It shows it to a small mixed group, some of your followers, and some total strangers who have never heard of your brand. It's measuring one thing: how does this content perform with people who have no reason to care about it yet? If strangers react strongly, they watch it longer. They share it, they save it. Instagram reads that as a signal this content has reached beyond your existing audience, so it keeps pushing it. If only your followers react and strangers scroll past, the post dies, Instagram cuts distribution and moves on. This is why clothing brands with 50,000 followers sometimes get fewer views than brands with 5,000. It is not about the size of your audience, it is about whether strangers react to your content. And we've made this move away from followers into interest type of content. What I mean here is that the amount of followers that you have is basically irrelevant. It has some clout or some social proof, but outside of that, it's really about the amount of views that you get more than anything else. I could care less how many followers you have. If you get a ton of views and grow your brand, that's a W. Here's the part that most people miss, and explains why posts sometimes seem completely dead for days and then suddenly take off. So when content passes the first test group, Instagram does push it to everyone at once. It expands kind of in tiers. Strong signals in tier 1 push it to a larger tier 2. Still strong signals, tier 3. It keeps expanding as long as the signals keep coming in. That's how a clothing brand with 8,000 followers gets a reel with to 400,000 views. The content kept passing each test. And here's the implication clothing brands almost always miss. A post that went quiet after 2 days didn't necessarily fail. It may have just hit a bad day where competing content was unusually strong. That post is worth reposting 2 or 3 weeks later because you're not reposting the same content. You're re-entering a completely new competition on a different day. Much like the ads work, right? Ads work, and don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but ads work in the same way where it is a competition and it is a bidding war based off of good creative and ad spend. There's one more signal almost nobody talks about. And for clothing brands, it's particularly powerful. Instagram doesn't just track how long someone watches a single post, it tracks session time. So how long someone spends watching multiple pieces of your content after discovering you. A stranger finds your reel about it, why most hoodies fall apart within 10 washes. Then they watch the whole thing, they tap your profile and watch 2 more reels. Instagram reads that as an exceptionally strong signal. Your content didn't just hold one person's attention, it held them long enough to want more. This means your profile is not just a storefront for your clothing brand, it's a content experience. The posts people see after they discover you need to be just as strong as the post that found them. So what specifically is Instagram measuring at each stage? So that's 4 things in order of importance. Watch time, how long someone actually watches your reel or scrolls your carousels. Shares and DMs, when someone sends your post to another person. This is the highest value signal on the platform, all right? So 1 share does more for your reach than 50 likes. Saves, bookmarking your post to come back to it, a signal of durable value, not just passive entertainment. Likes, still meaningful, but weighted lower. The algorithm knows liking is passive. Sharing and saving require real intent. And here's what's not on the list. Follower count, posting frequency, hashtags, posting time. Instagram confirmed none of those move the needle the way these 4 signals do. Everything I'm about to show you is built around one question. Does this earn those 4 signals from a stranger? This is the only game being played on Instagram right now. Shift 1, here's how a new customer actually discovers your clothing brand on Instagram. They're scrolling, they see a reel or a post, carousel, those are doing really well right now. Something catches their eye, a product, a hook, a look. They tap on your profile. They have about 3 seconds to decide. Follow, click the link, or leave forever. That 3-second window is your bio's entire job. Not to impress them, not to tell your brand story, not to list your achievements, just to make the right customers feel like the brand was made for them. So most clothing brands are failing that test before a single person ever sees the product and they have no idea it's happening. There are 2 bio mistakes I see clothing brands make constantly. Mistake number 1, the resume bio. This is where you list everything impressive about your brand, handcrafted in the USA, sustainable materials, featured in a publication, as seen on this. Here's the problem. When a stranger reads your bio like that, they don't feel inspired. They feel like they're being sold to, and they feel like one of many, and they leave. Credentials belong in your content. Drop naturally over time, not in 3 seconds you have to make someone want to stay. Mistake number 2, the vague value prop. This is every clothing brand's biggest bio sin. Look at how many clothing brand bios sound exactly like this. Designed for the modern woman, quality pieces for everyday life, where style meets comfort, elevating your everyday wardrobe. Nobody reads those and thinks, ooh, that's for me. They read them and think, that's every other clothing brand I've ever seen, and then they leave. Your bio has one job. Make your specific customer feel immediately seen. Not every customer, your customer. The exact person who has been looking for what you make and hasn't found it yet. Here's the formula. Who it's for, plus the specific thing they're tired of, plus what you give them instead. That's it. 2 lines maximum. Here's what that looks like when it's done right. For women tired of buying clothes that fall apart after 3 washes. Built to last 10 years, not 10 wears. Athletic wear for people who actually play, not just pose. Performance gear that survives real training. Basics that don't quit. Every piece is cut to hold its shape, color, and structure through years of wear. Feel the difference? The second set names a specific frustration your customer already has. It makes a stranger think, wait, they're talking to me. That's what makes them scroll down. Let me show you exactly what this looks like on a real clothing brand right now. All right, so we're looking at this bio right now. It says dad-styled snapback hat scaled down for kids, designed by 2 New England moms, and then it's got an email address. A couple of things here. One, it's not really hitting on a problem, which I guess partially it is, in the sense that it's calling out kids don't have dad-style hats, or maybe they're not cool, but it's not explicit. There's an email address here. There's not really any emojis, right? They could use a hat emoji. They could use literally anything else. There's no actual call to action. If you look at the nameplate up here where it says local social club and then local social club, it's the exact same thing. There's going to be some value added there, but it's so much reading that's going on. You got 3 seconds and you're going to make me do a lot of reading. So a lot of people are just going to scroll away from this bio. All right, so a couple of things I would change and then kind of rewrite. So this is what I have here. So for kids who refuse to wear boring hats and the parents who get it. Snapbacks made for little heads, real style. Or you want to lean into the New England local identity, since that's part of the brand DNA, if you really wanted to do that. Because your kid deserves a hat that actually fits and actually looks good. Snapbacks scaled for kids, designed by moms who know the difference. The email doesn't belong there. This is a bio tool thing. I would also, again, use a hat emoji to make those changes. So small changes to make a big impact. Fix your bio before you post another single piece of content. It's the door every potential customer walks through. And right now, for most clothing brands, the door is sending people away. Shift 2, content for strangers. So shift 2, and this is the one that surprises every clothing brand founder I show it to. You are making content for the wrong audience. Most clothing brand content is built for followers, and followers already know you. So the content assumes context that a stranger doesn't have. So here are the hooks that fail the stranger test and what clothing brands post every single day. New drop just landed, behind the scenes of our fall collection. We're so excited to announce. This one's been selling out every time we restock. Our founder on why we started this brand, ... A stranger sees any of those and thinks, I don't know who this is, I don't have the context, I'm moving on, and they scroll. Now here's what passes the stranger test. Same clothing brand, different framing. Why this hoodie doesn't rip after 50 washes. Most survive 10. Oh, we're the same white tee from 3 different brands for 6 months. Here's what happened. The reason your graphic tee fades after 3 washes and what to look for instead. How to tell if a clothing brand is actually built to last in under 60 seconds. Most athletic wear falls apart at the seams within a year. Here's how to spot the difference before you buy. If stranger sees any of those and thinks, wait, I had that exact problem, let me watch this. That's the reaction Instagram is measuring. Your followers are not your growth engine, strangers are. Now, every piece of content needs to work for someone who has never heard of your brand. For clothing brands specifically, that means starting with a problem your customers already have, not an announcement about something you've made. So here's a clothing brand we work with. Look at that number, 5.6 million views. Mentioned that one earlier. That didn't happen because of a big following, a boosted post, or a trending audio. Honestly, their follower count now is much larger because of this post, like 40,000 followers more. It happened because this post was built entirely for a stranger. The hook named a problem that any potential customer in their niche would have immediately recognized. It required zero context about the brand. A complete stranger could land on that post and within 3 seconds feel like it was made specifically for them. That's the only thing that separates this post from hundreds of other posts this brand made that got average numbers. We can scroll through this. So 3,000, this one, 26,000, don't get me wrong. 15,000, 6,000, 5,000, 40,000, 18. So like, they're good at creating content. A lot of these views are actually coming from that viral post, but nothing like millions. 70,000 views for most people is a ton of them. But when you talk 5.6 million, it's dwarfed. All right, so we got one over here. The one man's trash is a hostess's treasure. And then let's go, I'm gonna go to this one right here. It's 302,000. Upside down, boy, you turn me round and round. All right, and this one right here.
I can't believe I have
it's got
to
a hook
say
right there,
this,
POV, you hate AI.
By me. By myself.
So she's calling out people who hate AI, so it's like literally wide audience wearing the dress, and kind of gets bigger into that. So to be fair, this print was executed by my print designer, Will. He's also a person. So she's talking about just basically her versus AI, which is kind of fun. Now I want you to do this for your own account. Look at your last 9 posts, and for each one ask if someone landed on this who had never heard of your brand. With the first line or the first 3 seconds, give them a reason to keep watching. And if the answer is no, be honest with yourself. If it requires them to already care about your brand, rewrite the hook before you post anything new. Start with the problem, start with the outcome they want, and start with something a stranger would stop for. Now, before shift 3, I wanted to take 30 seconds or less. And I want to say that if you're a clothing brand founder watching this and thinking, I know our Instagram should be doing more, but I don't know where the gap is, we do a no-cost strategy call here at Bit Branding. We look at your actual account. We have real conversations with you as a business owner. The call is 100% free. There is no cost, no obligation. There is a link in the description down below. And if you're at $30,000 a month or above and Instagram feels like a missed opportunity, this call is for you. Okay, so shift 3. This one gives you your time back. One great post beats 30 average ones. Now here's something that's going to feel like permission. The idea that clothing brands need to post 3 to 5 times a week to grow on Instagram. Instagram's own CEO confirmed that it is not a requirement. There is no magic posting cadence, no algorithm penalty for posting less. Now, let's stop here for a second, and I want to tell you this because I think it's important. This does not contradict previous content that I have put out. By posting more, you will get better at knowing the tools, you'll get better in front of the camera, and so there is a time and place in the very beginning of your business to put out more content because you don't know what works, and you do need to get into a habit of creating good content. That being said, after a certain point, there's diminishing returns, and so I don't care if you post 3 times per day if all the content is crap, for lack of better terms. So the algorithm doesn't care how often you post, it cares about what happens when you do. And that's my point, is that when you post more, you're actually gonna get better at the craft, but after you've continued to post more, if you're not getting any better, then this is where this comes in, okay? So I've seen clothing brands post every single day for 3 months and go nowhere. Honestly, a lot of you guys. And I've seen a single well-built post drive consistent sales for an entire brand for 6 months straight. The difference isn't about volume, it's whether the post hits the signals that make Instagram keep pushing it. And to tell you the truth, once you understand how to keep pushing this and you reach more people and then you do volume, all right, that's how you get to your brand to a $500,000 million months. That's a whole different video, whole different conversation. So let me show you what those signals actually look like for clothing brands specifically. So signal 1, watch time. For clothing brands, the content that drives the longest watch time is try-on content where the fit reveal at the end, fabric quality comparisons where you show the difference on screen, and outfit formula carousels where each slide gives them a new combination worth saving. Signal 2, shares and DMs. So for clothing brands, shares happen when the post is something your customer would send to a friend who just complained about the same problem. Again, that's why you have to hit on the problem. Why your activewear stops wicking after 20 washes. That's what gets sent. Signal 3, saves. So for clothing brands, saves happen on the styling content. How to wear one piece 5 different ways. What to pair with a specific color. Capsule wardrobe formulas. People save those because they want to reference them when they're getting dressed. The content that drives all 3 of those signals for clothing brands is almost never a product announcement. It's educational, it's specific to a frustration your customer has, and it would still be valuable to a stranger discovering it 6 months from now. Here are the content topics that never expire for clothing brand audiences, the ones that keep finding new customers months after you post them. Fabric quality tells how to spot the difference between quality versus cheap before you buy. The pilling, fading, shrinking test, so basically how does it rip apart, why is it breaking? What happens to your product after X amount of washes versus the competition? One piece, multiple outfits, styling content that makes your hero product look versatile. And whole nother video, different conversation, but you really gotta have a hero product. If you don't, different conversation, but you gotta have a hero product. This allows you to make your hero product look like it's gonna stand out. Why fashion brands cost more in the long run. The math on cost per wear. What to look for when buying your category. The checklist your customers didn't know they needed. The frustration your customer has with every other brand in your space, named directly. I like the call outs. Call out Aloe, call out Viore. Size and fit reality, what it actually looks like on a real person versus the model shot. every one of those topics would still be relevant to a stranger discovering your brand a year from now. That's what keeps a post working long after you've moved on to making the next one. One more tool most clothing brands never use. Now, if you have a post you know is genuinely strong, the hook passes the stranger test, the topic is evergreen, but it underperformed, wait 2 to 3 weeks and repost it without changing a single thing. Your content isn't judged against a fixed standard. It's weighted against everything else Instagram is pushing that exact day. A great post on a bad day, a major news event, a trend dominating the feed can get buried through zero fault of its own. We've been seeing clothing brands get 5 to 10 times the views on a repost. Same reel, same caption, same audio, different day, different competition. Only repost content you genuinely believe is strong. If the hook is weak or the framing is off, reposting it will make things worse. So fix the content first, then repost. So this post is still working, still finding new customers, still driving DMs, sales a month later after it's been posted and moved on. Not luck, not timing, not a big following. A bio that makes the right person feel seen. A hook built for a stranger who has never heard of this brand. A topic that doesn't expire. 3 shifts, that's it. And every clothing brand watching this can implement all 3 before they post their next piece of content. Here's the version of Instagram most clothing brands are running right now. A bio that lists their credentials and talks about themselves, content made for the followers they already have, drop announcements, brand news, behind the scenes, post it as often as possible to stay consistent, and wondering why the account won't grow. Here's the version that works. A bio that names your customer's specific frustration in 2 lines and makes the right person feel immediately seen. Content built entirely for a stranger, hooks that lead with fabric problems, quality comparisons, styling outcomes, and frustration your customer already has. Not announcements about what you've made. Fewer posts built to last. Content that drives watch time because there's a reveal worth staying for. Shares because it's something your customers would send to a friend. Saves because it's something they want to come back to. That's the version of Instagram where one post from 7 months ago is still finding new customers today. Not because the algorithm is showing favorites, because the content was built to earn that reach. 3 shifts. Start with the bio, fix it before your next post, then audit your last 9 pieces of content against the stranger test, then pick one evergreen topic from the list and build your next post around it. If you want someone to look at your specific account and tell you exactly where the gap is, the no-cost strategy call link is in the description. We'll look at your brand together. So drop a comment right now and tell me which of the 3 shifts you're making first: bio, stranger content, or quality over quantity. I read every single one, and YouTube already knows what you should watch next. One of these videos is built specifically for clothing brand founders. It's going to be exactly where you need to go from here. Click on it, I'll see you over there.